We have some breaking news right here on WCNC Plus. We're going to bring in Vanessa Ruffes right now, who just got some updates from Anson County, the animal shelter. There's some situations that are ongoing in the background. So tell us what you can. What's reportable here? Give us some information on this.
Yeah, Colin. So we're essentially, it looks like this is a big upheaval in the shelter situation and in really the staffing. And we're told actually the shelter is in the process of being moved to a different department. So we actually just got off the phone with the shelter director, Maureen Lett, who told me that they're moving animal services, animal control over to emergency management. And we talked about the fact that there's some staffing issues over there. It sounds like as of tomorrow, when the shelter director says that she is going to formally submit her letter of resignation, that there will really be limited staff at the shelter to take care of the animals. In fact, to the point where it sounds like folks with Parks and Rec are being trained to be able to take care of the dogs that might be remaining and clean kennels and all of that that is necessary to keep a shelter up and running. As you can imagine, this is causing quite a scramble because with the limited staff and with the fact that the shelter director, she basically told me that she has some concerns with the direction that this is going in as far as where the shelter's going. In fact, to quote her, she said, "Our values do not align." She is and other volunteers are scrambling to try to get dogs out by tomorrow, which we mentioned is when she's going to formally submit her letter of resignation. She just says that she is concerned about the quality of care that might come once the staffing is dropping down to basically Parks and Rec, who are taking care of the animals. Nothing against Parks and Rec. She just said that, they were kind of just trained on the fly at this point to handle these animal matters, and it's really not even, their original job description, if you will, to try to handle these types of things. But she says that she just wants to get as many animals out of the shelter by close of business tomorrow, just to ensure that all the animals are getting the best care possible. And she really can't confirm, what their fate might be if the shelter, does turn over to other hands and they're unable to maybe care for any new dogs that might be coming in. So essentially, she says that they're looking for folks to either come and adopt. They have 11 remaining dogs, 10 remaining actually. It looks like some of the counts are dropping down because they're starting to get some rescue commitments, but they're looking for folks to adopt, or if there are any rescues in the area that can commit to sponsoring a dog, essentially, either pulling it from the shelter or if they're able to fund this dog to have care and maybe a foster can come forward and take care of the dog. They're looking for that type of care. But she says Saturday morning is really going to be her last activity as shelter director. She says early in the morning she's going to come and pick up the remaining cats and drive them to a rescue partner in Virginia to try to get the cats out as well. But I mean, it sounds like this has been a really chaotic week, Colin.
Yeah, certainly so. So clearly they need help. It seems like the counts are going down. Where should people reach out to? I mean, is there a way that folks can contact Anson County, the animal services in some sense, if they need to try and get these dogs or a cat maybe to try and help out in the next couple of days? Yeah,
if you go to the Anson County website, so the county government website, the website for animal services is still up there. And you can actually see we've got some images of the remaining dogs. I was just sent this Google document that has pictures of the dogs. They range in age, so they even have puppies, and there's a little bit of a blurb, if you will, like their stats and are they good with other dogs? What do they know about their personalities? But you can go to the Animal Services website, which is through the county government website, and learn more about where the shelter is. For folks who aren't familiar, this is probably about 45 minutes outside of Charlotte. It's about 45 minutes, I'd say, east of Charlotte. In fact, a lot of volunteers from Charlotte go out to Anson County just to support it, just because it doesn't really have a lot of resources, if you will, as far as, local volunteer support. And so anyways, if folks want to learn more, Friday is kind of their unofficial deadline to get the rest of these dogs out. And we're going to be putting up a web story in just a little bit so that folks can kind of check out that information on WCNC.com.
All right. Anything else that we're missing? I know that you've reached out to some county leaders, so hopefully we can maybe even get them on WCNC Plus potentially sometime tomorrow. Anything else we're missing from this?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the fact that we are trying to get some more information from more folks in the county. All of the information that I got was confirmed to me by the shelter director, Maureen Lett, and we also had heard some information from other community members, but essentially Ms. Lett confirmed what we had heard through the community. But yeah, we'd like to hear from the county manager. I did reach out to him. I reached out to at least one of the county commissioners at that point and plan to send out some more emails because I do want to hear from the county, as the current shelter director is about to step down, how the county plans to ensure that animal services continues in Anson County, how the public can continue to be served as far as their animal needs, and also that the animals are being well taken care of, considering the fact that staffing does seem to be so limited already and then about to be even more limited starting tomorrow.
All right, so obviously we'll continue to follow this story here on WCNC Plus, but also on WCNC.com, and you will see our reports tomorrow on our linear shows on WCNC as well. Appreciate your time, Vanessa. For folks that want to read in on this this story, check out WCNC.com the next couple of hours to update and